Hi friends, today we are talking about shells, and you've probably seen shells at the beach or maybe in a store. Maybe you have some at home. Here I have lots of different kinds of shells, and you can see there's different patterns, different shapes. Let's have a look. So this shell, for example, it has some holes. And some shells on the outside look really different than they do on the inside. So you can see when you flip it, it has this surface that reflects light. It's called iridescent because you can see different colors in it. Really pretty shell. So this is one kind. Another kind that I have is this really swirly long one. And if you look at the top, you can see where the swirl kind of starts and it just goes all the way down to the bottom. So it looks like it has a lot of different curvy lines to it. One that you've probably seen at lots of different places is just a very simple, this one's white, but you can see it has different lines. This is what it looks like on the inside. Looks like it's a little bit dirty. And here's another one similar to that one. This one, I don't know where I got this one. It's really interesting, but you can see there's even like still some sand or something in it, but I don't remember where it came from. It's very pretty. It has lots of spots. It's really smooth. Shells have different textures too. So some shell, like this one, is really bumpy, but this shell is very smooth. So they can feel different too. The texture is different. And another one that I have is this one, which to me, it reminds me of like a giraffe. I don't know if you've ever seen a shell like this, but it has a spotted pattern. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Very smooth. And then this is what it looks like at the top. It's even kind of like a gray color at the top. And then the last one I have is this one. And this is just sort of like another similar one to these. So anyway, if you have shells at home, you can take them out and have a look and try to find different shapes, different patterns, different colors in your shells. Look on the outside, look on the inside of them. Really take a close look at them the way that a scientist would. And then after you do that, you could practice drawing some shells. So I'm going to show you how to draw a few shells. And then you can give it a try. So I'm just going to put these to the side for a minute, and I'm going to get something to write with over here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to write with something, and let's try drawing a few different kinds of shells. So I think the first one I'm going to draw, I'm just going to use a marker to do this. You can use a marker or a pencil, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do kind of like something that looks similar to one of these. I think these are clams. I'm not totally sure, but I think they're clams. So here we go. First, I'm going to do a diagonal line. So let's try a diagonal line. Diagonal line. And then I'm going to do the same diagonal line out the other way. Diagonal line. And then I'm just going to do a curved line at the top. So it looks like a V or a triangle, but instead of doing a straight line, you're going to do a curved line. So let's try curved line at the top. Okay. And then at the bottom, I'm going to do a little line out. And then on the other side, a little line out, and then just connect, connect. So try that. So it's two diagonal lines, a curved line at the top, and then you're just kind of making these little angles on the bottom. And then for shells, you need to give them details, right? We saw from the shells that they all have lots of different details and lines. So you can't just draw this. It doesn't really look like a shell. To make it look like a shell, I need to draw some lines. So I'm going to draw some lines going out from like this imaginary part right here. It's just going to go out, 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 out. So that's kind of like a shell that you might see if you go to the ocean. And I'm going to try another one, but kind of going a different way. So similar shape. I'm going to do a diagonal line out. And then same thing, I'm going to like make another diagonal line out. And I'm going to kind of round the top a little bit. And then I'm going to make a round connection at the bottom. Round. So it's the same shape as this one, but it's facing the opposite way. Sometimes when you're drawing something, it's good practice to draw it facing different ways, and then you're able to get better at it. But this shell is going to be different. It's not going to be like this one. This time, all the way across, we're going to do curvy lines. So these lines weren't really curvy. These lines are going to be curvy. And you just curve it, curve it, curve it. And these lines make it seem rounder. So just try that. So you're going to do these open diagonal lines, kind of curve at the top, and then a big curve at the bottom. Okay, and then you're going to do these curvy lines. So these are two different kinds of shells. Since you're kind of warmed up, you're ready to go, we're going to try one that's a little bit, it looks sort of like a snail shell. So watch me first and then give it a try. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, so start at the top, all the way around. Now it just sort of looks like a squiggly line. So to make it look more like a shell, we need to draw a line here and then connect it like this. And then it looks much more like a shell you might see at the beach. Okay, so far we have, how many shells? We have 1, 2, 3 shells. Now I'm going to try something I haven't really tried before. This is probably one of my favorite shells, but I don't really know if I've tried to draw it before, so I'm just going to give it a try. So I'm looking at it, I see it has lots of curvy lines. It has this kind of squiggly thing at the top. It's really interesting. So I'm going to give it a try. You want to try with me? Okay. So I'm going to start by doing a diagonal line this way with a little bit of a curve. And then it's a skinny shell. It's not a really big shell. Maybe you've seen like smaller versions of the same shell, you probably have. And then I'm going to do a line on the bottom like this. And then I'm going to stop there. I'm going to do curvy lines going across, because if you look at it, it has these curvy lines that go across. So let's try that. Shells can be very curvy. Curve, 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 and just go to the top and stop. So stop. Okay, now up here, I'm going to do a little loop, loop. And then from the top of the loop, I'm going to connect it with a curve. So connect. Okay, I think that's pretty good. If I wanted to add some more details to make it look more like a shell, to make all of these look more interesting, I could use colors, I could use watercolors, I could use pencil. There's all kinds of different things that you could do to give your shells details. For example, with this one, if I just do some smaller lines in between the big ones, it can look more interesting. It can look a little bit more realistic. And maybe even do some shadowing in here, because that's the inside of the shell. Same here. And you could even, if you wanted, draw some sand by your shell. And you can use what you have at home. If you have some colors that you think would look really nice on your shells, you could use that. If you want to leave them like this and just keep practicing your drawings, you could do that too. It's up to you. But I hope that you liked drawing shells with me. I hope that you were able to find some shells in your house, and I would love to see your pictures when you're done. All right, friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.